Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a corporate filing that's less about groundbreaking news and more about the nuts and bolts of how a company keeps its gears turning. Think of it like checking in on a city's infrastructure instead of watching a building explode, but still, things can get interesting. And before we begin, if you enjoy receiving clear explanations of difficult company documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. Feel free to join and talk about this and other fillings of company that provides software solutions and services to the public sector. This particular filing in 8K focuses primarily on the results of their annual meeting of stockholders. Therefore, company documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. Feel free to join and talk about this and other fillings. Up today, we are going to look at the latest filing of Tyler Technologies, a company that provides software solutions and services to the public sector. This particular filing in 8K focuses primarily on the results of their annual meeting of stockholders. So what exactly is this all about? Well, at the annual meeting, shareholders get to vote on various proposals and elect the board of directors. This report outlines those votes and the outcomes. While it might seem like just procedural stuff, it's a key part of corporate governance and transparency. First off, let's talk about the main event, the election of directors. The filing lists each nominee and the number of votes they received for, withheld, and broker non-votes. All listed nominees were elected to the board, including Glenn A. Carter, Margot L. Carter, Brenda Usline, Ronnie D. Ted. For example, Glenn A. Carter received 3-4 and 53-3-6. What do votes required for nominee? They are supporting their election to the board. A vote A. Carter received 3-4-4-5-2-6 ed 117-4-3-5-5-4-4-8. Obex, the beneficial owner of the shares, hasn't given them instructions. In other words, the broker is holding the shares 4-4-5-5-4-4-8-0 votes for Dull. Focus is 107.5, 3 votes Linmore Jr., Daniel M. Pope, and Andrew D. Teed, for example. Glenn A. Carter received 3-4-4-5-5-4-4-8 Dode votes for 8-6. What do votes 3-4-A 5-E5 Bub for now? Let's shift our focus to some other important items that were up for a vote. Unbroken non-votes mean when a shareholder votes for a nominee, they are supporting their election to the board 4-5. One of the proposals was an advisory resolution on executive compensation. This is what's often called a say-on-pay vote, where shareholders get to voice their opinion on how well executives are being paid. In this case, the majority voted in favor with 362,951 votes for 437.3 founder Davin Foy. And today's video, we are day 6, broker 95, 1-8 hind votes for 43.5731 against, and 6-1 signal to the board about investor sentiment regarding executive compensation. Next up, there was a vote to ratify Ernst & Young LL as the independent auditors for the current fiscal year. This is a standard procedure to ensure that the company's financial statements are being audited by a reputable and independent firm. Shareholders overwhelmingly approved this with 375,197 ohs, armed by declared to be 5-2, abstentions with you 1-2 by 7 and so states within 70,1979. Further back to 2,252 abstentions. Now, for an item that sparks more debate, a shareholder proposal regarding political spending. This proposal likely called for greater transparency or restrictions on the company's political contributions. Here the vote was more divided, with 9-7-1-18 Darfai's Aforthast Asadasan 254,449 votes against, and 25,46667 abstentions, with 2,006,34449 votes against, and 25,4449 votes against, and 25,46667 abstentions, with 2 faces likely called for greater transparency 1. Another item up for vote was the approval of an amendment to the restated certificate of incorporation to remove supermajority voting standards in Article 9 of the certificate. Shareholders approved this change with 3,758 abstentions. There was another item to remove supermajority voting standards, this time in Article 12 of the certificate. Again, the shareholders approved this change with 3,705,295,2,952 votes for T, 2,4,6,428, 5 votes against, and 99,86 abstentions. What's a supermajority voting standard? It's a requirement that more than a simple majority 50% plus 1 vote is needed to approve certain corporate actions, often 2/3 or even higher. Removing these standards generally makes it easier for shareholders to enact changes, as it lowers the threshold for approval. These supermajority requirements may sometimes protect the management requirement that more than a simple majority 50% plus 1 vote is needed to approve certain corporate actions, often 2/3 or even higher. Removing these standards generally makes it easier for shareholders to enact changes, as it lowers the threshold for approval. The supermajority requirement that more than a simple majority, 50% plus one vote, is needed to approve certain corporate approval. These supermajority. Finally, shareholders' general amendment to the written consent right in the restated certificate of incorporation to incorporate existing corresponding provisions in the company's bylaws. The resolution passed with 36278806 votes for Resolution 278806 votes for 82247995 votes against and 23622 abstentions. This kind of move just aligns the company's governing documents. It now, what does all of this mean for Tyler Technologies? It's hard to say from only this document, but one can make the following observations. If have the 8066, 2379.5 votes against and 2362 abstentions. This kind of move just aligns the company's governing documents. Now, what does all of this mean for Tyler Technologies? It's hard to say from only this document, but one can make the following observations. A denialification of auditors suggests that shareholders are reasonably satisfied with how executives are compensated. However, the significant minority votes, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you.